Welcome back, everybody, to Too Much Sauce with Slicc. And guess who I have beside me? Premier DJ Newmark. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? Thank you for having me, man.
Hey, man, thank you for coming in. Honestly, I've been earlier this week, I've been hearing that you was coming in, and I had to get myself psyched up to see you because Newmark, I have to say, everybody, his story kind of makes me feel like I can break that glass ceiling. You know, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get into it. So before I talk about you, tell the audience a little bit about yourself, DJ Newmark.
All right. Well, again, thank you for having me. Thank you for sharing your platform with your audience.
No problem.
I'm just basically a throwback DJ that's been in the game since 1984.
Oh,
and performing all over the world, man. I've been blessed to work with some very established artists in the music industry, both R&B and hip hop. From people from DMX, got Rest His Soul, to TLC. I'm trying to work with Montel Jordan right now.
Okay.
I'm in connection with my brother DJ Lord Jazz from the Lords on the Underground. I'm just trying to just maintain these networks. Again, I'm over 50, so
it's okay.
If you look at the news, a lot of the original pioneers of hip hop, they're fading out, man.
Yeah, they are.
We checking out.
I can't say you guys are checking out. I feel like the new school should be picking up what you guys laid the blueprint out to. I mean, sometimes it gets convoluted with all this, the I Wanna Rocks and other stuff. Not hating on Lil Uzi or anything, but sometimes I feel like we're gonna get back to that old school hip hop when it was a DJ and a wordsmith and you was actually hearing something. Because even though we don't shine lights to a J. Cole or a Kendrick Lamar, they are good lyricists with, I say, good producers, good production. What do you have to say to somebody that wants to get in the field that you just got into from DJing and working with a lot of people?
Well, I mean, first of all, you got to have a love for music.
Yeah.
I mean, and you cannot be biased. I think, inherently speaking, when it comes to hip hop, especially,
yeah,
every region of our country and in the world has a particular sound. You hear a MC from New York, you can kind of guess that they're from that area, Philly, New York, Jersey.
Yes.
You hear somebody from the Midwest, like a Nelly.
Yeah.
They got that kind of bounce. You thinking, all right, Louisiana,
Facts.
Maybe Texas, you hear some West Coast stuff.
YG.
It's the way that, Dr. Dre beat, you like,
Facts.
So, and then here in Miami, you kind of hear that bass, that faster tempo, what Luke and all them started, and you automatically know, okay, that's Miami, the Miami sound. So I think first and foremost, you have to understand the music that's organic to where you're from.
Right.
And then you have to be open-minded enough to accept the other sounds from other parts of the country and across the globe. There's people, I've performed in Japan, where they can't even understand the language, that we're speaking, but they catch the vibe because the music hits them a certain kind of
way. Okay.
So my advice to everybody out there, man, that want to be a DJ, don't be so set on a particular sound, right? Don't be afraid.
So
they
can dibble and dabble in EDM, pop.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I even listen to country music. I won't buy country music, but I'll even listen to it though, because music is music. It's
Thanks.
creative. The creative process doesn't change. It just because your rhythm or your tempo is different, And so you got to be a student of music.
Oh, I like that. But speaking of Japan, because you brought it up, man.
Okay.
I have to say, man, how did you grow up, and how did growing up affected you to becoming the person you are?
Well, I'll tell you, when it came to hip hop, when hip hop first broke and went mainstream, my father was in the military, so we weren't stationed in the United States. So while hip hop was blowing up in New York and on the East Coast, we were actually I was in the Philippines
Oh man.
when I first heard the Sugar Hill Gang, right? When I first heard the Sugar Hill Gang,
Yeah.
I was in the Philippines, a youngster, man. I had to been about maybe 11 or 12, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And the good thing about being on these pockets of military bases is that it's a melting ground for service men and women.
So it's like all different. It's kind of like a university.
It's like a university.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, even more so. Even more so.
Okay.
Because now every day you have a cat coming from, New York or coming from Cali or coming from wherever, and they're bringing the music that they know. So being on a military base, you throw all that, you get exposed
To a lot.
to a lot of different sounds.
Oh.
Right? You get exposed to a lot of different sounds. So as I matured and got older and my dad kept moving and I started being very influenced by the different sounds of that area, unlike somebody who's born and raised only in one spot and that kind of music is all they know. I was able to develop a very diverse taste in my music, and so whenever I would perform somewhere, I could definitely make sure that I could read the crowd and play music that's going to get everybody bumping instead of my own personal bias and preferences.
I respect that so much because I never heard a DJ say it before, man. You play for the crowd. How has playing for the crowd worked for you, and what has like one of your biggest challenges, I say getting out there, because you got out there at 17, right? Correct?
Yeah.
So,
I can say that's when I got my break, my big break.
Yeah.
Locally, kind of like how I transitioned from being a bedroom DJ to out in the public eye was, again, being that my generation was the first generation actually to embrace hip hop. My school dances in middle school, or we called it junior high back then, the DJs at our dances was playing Donna Summer, Bee Gees, because they were old heads, but they didn't understand the new hip hop movement, right? So we as kids, we wanted to hear hip hop, and so I approached the administration and said, look, you're wondering why kids are not supporting our dances. Well, because the music is not what music was whack. So how about, right?
Getting some up to date.
My thing is if you wanna catch a thief, if you want to catch a thief, you need a thief, right?
All right,
iron sharpens iron. So if you want the student body to come and support these events, well, have somebody that represents the student body playing the music. Because we know.
I like that.
So that's what happened. They gave me a shot. They said, all right, we're not going to charge you, because, you're not a professional DJ. I was like, no problem.
But you had the dancers jumping.
And so I had the dancers jumping. Next thing you know, kids from other schools was coming to our dances. And then the buzz started creating. And how that happened was, again, I'm playing music that people had never heard before in the area that I was at. There was like, where'd that come from? And it was because I got exposed by those servicemen. I'm always in the gym. That's where, basketball and music, y'all. I'm telling you right now, basketball and music goes hand in hand. So I was, a little baller. So I would go to the gyms and get the music from the old heads. I would call them old heads, right? Because they're grown.
Thanks.
I'm still a youngster. And then I'll take that music on cassettes, and then I'll take it straight over, and I'd play them at my next dance or whatever.
I say, man, like, right now it's a new age. I would have Shazammed everything, but like, how many times you got tapped and said, yo, where's that from?
A lot. A lot. And the funny thing about it was a lot of the times I didn't even know the name of the song. You know what I'm saying? Because it was on cassette. Okay. Like, I don't know. I just knew it was nice, and I would play it. But, it just moving all around. I kind of feel like Mortal Kombat. If you ever seen the movie Mortal Kombat, there's a dude named Shang Tsung.
Oh, yes.
And every time he killed an opponent, he would take their soul.
Soul, yes.
Right? For me, I would take the soul of the area that I moved to. And whatever music and vibe that area had, I would steal that soul. I would take it.
I respect that.
And I make it my own. And so, back to your original question.
Yeah.
The challenges, though, is every time I move to a new spot, they already had their network, their DJ. That it's almost like when you playing basketball. That goes back to basketball, right? And you show up to a gym or to a park, nobody know you, and you like,
They're
got
not
next.
Gonna pick you,
right?
Not gonna pick
you know what I'm saying? Until you go out there and you show that you can play.
That's when they like, yo, I want Newmark on my team.
But in the meanwhile, you gonna have to sit 2 or 3 games, maybe, right? So that was my thing. Every time I tried to go into a new spot, a new area, it was hard for a DJ to get embedded into that community. And so what I would have to do then is say, all right, well, no problem. I'm just gonna start making mixtapes, and then I'm gonna start handing them out. You know what I'm saying? You hear about those old stories like Too Short and them selling all these tapes from their trunk.
So you was in like the gas station. What was your biggest fear that you like, was it gonna sell, or like were you just optimistic on the fact of like you giving out these mixtapes? Was there a fear behind it? You was hot. So
yeah, well, the fear was I had to spend money to make these tapes, man. And I didn't want to see a tape just discarded I would find that, and of course, and I would pick it back up, recycle that mug.
Okay.
But a lot of time and a lot of effort went into that stuff. To record tapes and then to make dubs of those cassette tapes was labor intensive. So that was my thing. I ain't want to waste time.
That's wrong for you guys. He put his heart, but it's okay. You got a name now. It's okay. So it was just part of the journey. So like, what is like one regret you have?
Wow, you know what?
This journey?
You know what, man? Yeah. You are something else, because in all my years of interviews and things, I've never been asked a regret. So you got to give me a quick second. Let me think. A regret.
No, you good?
A regret. You know what?
No.
I don't have no regrets, man.
Let's go.
I don't have no regrets. I believe that everything was according to a master plan that maybe I could control or I could not control. I'm not a very religious man, but I'm very spiritual. And if it was my time for me to make that move and it wasn't successful, then it wasn't my time. No matter how hard I tried to make it happen.
So like even when you were back then on the street team, working in through those radio stations, you felt like it was just the art of the hustle.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I'm telling you.
I take advantage of every opportunity, regardless what the outcome is.
Okay.
If the door is open, I'm going to go through there.
Okay.
A lot of times I'm like, oh, I need to step back and close that door real quick. But I'm still going to walk through that door.
Okay.
And I just think that every move that I make, whether I can reap the benefits of that door being open right then or down the line, I still take that chance.
Ooh. What is like one thing people misunderstand about you?
About me?
Yeah.
Man, misunderstand.
If somebody misunderstands, I'm pretty sure y'all don't misunderstand DJ Newmark if y'all hear his mixes, but
I just think that I don't know if it's a misunderstanding, man. I like to keep things real.
Gotcha.
And I'm trying to learn to be a better communicator. Like sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say something.
Facts.
And I'm the type of dude, man, that I just keep it 100. And sometimes I'm not using empathy on how that person might receive what I'm saying, in the interest of me trying to just tell them what it is. Hey, you got a boog on your nose. I'm gonna say, hey, look, you got a boog on your nose. I'm not gonna say like, you might want to like get that right there, which I should probably. But to me, if I care about you, if I don't care about you, I'm just gonna let you walk around with a boog on your nose, right? But if I care about you, I'm gonna say, hey, man, you got a boog on your nose. So I think that maybe is one of the things I'm still trying to learn how to be a better communicator.
Same, man. Same here. So, yeah, because like I say, that resonates with me. But you sound like a good friend, because there's a lot of friends out there that see spinach on your teeth, boog on your nose, and they don't say nothing. They like, oh, I ain't even noticed. So I gotta say, girl, like, if you had any advice, I'm pretty sure you might not, for your younger self, what would that be?
For my younger self, man.
When you was like fresh-eyed, 17, like, yo, I'm about to do this. I'm in Cali.
Don't let other people get you off track. So what I mean by that is, again, when I came up, it's not like today. Like, for example, if you're an MC today, if you're an artist today, all right, you don't actually need to go to a nice facility like this right here. If you got the right kind of computer and the right kind of software and a mic, all right, you can make your own album. Correct. You can have it mastered with Pro Tools. And then you can even upload that stuff on DistroKid or whatever and have it out there in the world. Correct. You really don't need anybody per se nowadays.
Facts.
When I was coming up, you depended 100% on somebody else. And as a DJ that didn't have a group, see, again, all the pioneer DJs that are notable, really notable, they had affiliated themselves with a group, okay? Very seldom did you find like the Kid Capri's or the Grandmaster Flash. Well, actually, Grandmaster Flash was part of Furious 5.
Yeah.
So, so being that I didn't necessarily have a group, I was just trying to make my own brand. Mm-hmm. That was kind of unheard of for a DJ just to be out there. I mean, even DJ Jazzy Jeff had the Fresh Prince. I mean, like all the DJs had somebody. So a lot of people's telling me no, that I can't do.
You can.
I can't do it. And as a young jit, as a youngster, I would tend to let that kind of persuade me because I depended on you to believe in me to help me get to the next level. So that would be my advice, even though that doesn't apply nowadays.
It does, because you got to look at it nowadays. I don't look at it as DJs because you got to think about the Metro Boomins, the Zaytovens, the 808s. They're producers. They could be DJs, but like they really built their backs off like, you know, I'm the guy that comes up with the beats and you rap on them. So like bringing like I say new school into the mix. What do you feel about new school hip hop? You know, you big on hip hop. Just say we're on the right direction. I feel like we are, but there's too much, you know. Well, everybody got ops nowadays in new hip hop.
You know, I mean, I think that's a very great question. Yeah. I do have a bias, okay?
Got you.
When you compare, you know, new school and old school, I like to say legacy, right, and modern. So you got legacy hip hop, which is the era that I particularly represent, and you got modern hip hop, where, you know, mumble rap and all that kind of stuff is embedded into what I call modern. I'm not going to knock modern rap. Okay. Modern hip hop. Okay. I'm just not going to do it. The culture is hip hop. Hip hop is hip hop. And I'm sure that when we were coming up in the early 80s and mid 80s with our version of hip hop, there were people that was not supporting that. You know, you had a lot of coming out of the disco era, you had a lot of people in the music industry that said that this rap stuff wouldn't last. Yeah. So here we are, 50. I'm wearing this commemorative shirt, y'all. 50 years of hip hop. Hip hop turned 50 years old this year. And so knowing the growth of the naysayers that said that we couldn't exist, I'm not going to turn right around and be that guy and say that today's modern hip hop is going to be the same, that it won't last and it's trash or anything like that. I'm not going to do it. I support it. I just hope and I just wish if I was king for a day, if I was the hip hop god of the day, I would want some of the legacy artists and modern artists to pair up and feature each other. Whether it's a old school, you know, rapper giving 16 bars to a little Uzi or a Young Vader or whatever.
Yeah, I got you now.
You know what I'm saying? Like, or vice versa. You know, it would just, I think the culture would be stronger. Right now, there's just a divide right now, and as a DJ, I wish that we could do something that could mend that, because there's a lot of good music out there, but we just have no connectivity.
Ooh, we gotta connect, because I feel like I put this on like I say this as a statement. This is not even a part of like what's going on here, but music to me feels like the universal language. Even though I may not understand, I don't know if you listen to K-pop. I don't know if you listen.
I do. I don't know none of the artists' names, but yeah.
But I don't know if you listen to K-pop, but I feel like K-pop made me understand, like, yo, even though we don't say that we understand what's going on with them, they're still getting streamed, billions of streams. So how do you feel about music being that mutable? You think music will, I say, broaden its horizons to like actually bring us together, like I say, the old school legacy artists and the new school artists? You think that will happen at a point in time in society?
Not unless, like I said, we start making conscious efforts to partner and bridge that gap. Now, if that doesn't happen, what I will say though is that hip hop has influenced the world. Hip hop is global. It's not just the industries of the ghettos of this country as it originated, right? Nowadays, like you said, K-pop and all these different types of music is heavily influenced by hip hop. I think what will happen is that hip hop will continue to evolve, and you'll have people, again, that can't even speak or understand the English language, but they're influenced by the melodies of hip hop, putting out their own music, which I know got to drive those people crazy that are traditional. So I use K-pop. K-pop's Korean, right? Korean pop.
Yeah.
Okay, my mother's Korean, right? And I know for a fact that the traditional Korean music don't have no hip hop rhythm on it. It's more like strings and ding 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 ding. And my mom would be playing that in the house, and I'll just be like, hey, ding 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 ding. So now you know that K-pop has embraced hip hop and is banging it. And you know, if you have a tolerance to kind of block out the words because you just going for the rhythm.
Correct.
Man, they're slamming. Like, they are producing music, good quality music across the world, all over.
Oh, I gotta say, I mean, you brought up global. So like, being that you are global, he is a global DJ, y'all. Just to let y'all know. But what are like the top 3 venues that you visited globally besides
Man,
the
tell
US?
you, Germany. Every time I go to Germany, let me tell you something, y'all. And this is straight up, right?
What's up?
When it comes to, again, I'm not going to speak on modern hip hop. I'll speak on legacy hip hop. All right. And any legacy artist will tell you what I'm about to say right now. The overseas tours or they have more energy than the tours here in the United States.
Why is
they
that?
receive, because again, they're influenced so much by hip hop that whenever they get a legacy name out there, like look at Michael Jackson.
You're right.
Let's use Michael Jackson for a reason. You remember Michael Jackson? All those videos of people fainting and all that wasn't in the United States.
That was
overseas.
So they got a little taste of what we got. Oh my God! So we took it for granted. You think
that's what we do?
Oh my!
Because it's organic to us.
Yeah,
we see it, we feel it, we live it every day. But those people over there are starving for the influence. They're starving for the culture. They're imitating us, right?
Dressing.
So when we can go over there and tell them, "Hey, look, you ain't got to imitate," or "This is the person you're imitating," right? They go bonkers. So Germany has to be my number one.
I like that.
With that being said, I had a great time in Japan, and I would say the Philippines.
The Philippines are big. What is it? I hear the Philippines are big in like karaoke. Everybody likes.
Yes,
karaoke.
everybody. Okay, the thing about the Philippines compared to the other 2 spots that I said is that the English language is actually taught in class. Like that is, yes, the majority of Filipinos can speak English.
I would have never.
So they can actually appreciate the music in its entirety, the rhythmic side and the lyrical side, right? So now I'm not gonna say that they're as fluent as us, but you can go over there and communicate.
Okay.
So the Filipinos, man, they actually catch, like, again, in basketball. Y'all run across some Filipinos that play ball. I'm telling you, they can hoop with the best of them. I'm telling you, the Filipinos have just adopted American culture ever since we went over there and helped them in World War II. You know what I'm saying? So
that.
when I have an opportunity to perform, and whether I'm performing by myself or I'm with an act, it's just the amount of energy that they give is very intoxicated. Very intoxicated.
That's dope. That's much love. See, we take it for granted, guys. I feel like, we should come out to the shows. It should show more love. Not at just festivals like Rolling Loud or
Correct.
Coachella.
Facts.
We should come to like their event, their actual events.
Facts.
And actually do show love. But moving on, man, I gotta say, the age of the DJ. I'm not trying to call you old. I'm not.
I'll do
the
it.
age of
I'm
the
old.
DJ, man. They say it's out of date. They say they don't want to hear radio no more. I gotta ask you, like, what's your next step to like always keep your name, your mark, DJ Newmark, in the public eye or just the public ear?
Well, I'm working with a team of young visionaries, man, that help the social media game. I think the social media game, especially while those platforms are free, I think the legacy generation that I fall into, we are behind on that. I think that we could use that as a token of expression to where we can bridge that gap that I talked about earlier.
Correct.
And so for me personally, for the DJ Newmark brand, not only am I humbled by being able to tell my story on platforms such as this and shows such as this, but also understanding that I have to be somewhat literate or have someone literate on my team to help my brand across these social media platforms. So along with that, and along with me being on the radio, in case y'all didn't know, I have South Florida's #1 throwback hip hop and R&B show.
Forgot to mention that, but go ahead.
It is shout out to all my fam at 107.1 FM, 107.1 FM, and it's the DJ Newmark Experience, and I'm on every day at 3:00, every day, 7 days a week at 3:00. And I play nothing but old school hip hop and R&B stuff. I might slide in some reggae, some reggaeton, some pop,
But it's all old school.
But it's all old school. So I average 27,000 listeners an hour.
Ooh.
27,000 listeners an hour. And so I'm always not only just plugging the radio station, but I'm plugging my brand to stay relevant. And hopefully I can get younger listeners that was raised correctly, right? That was raised correctly.
You gotta put that stamp there.
That's right. That's right. And they were introduced to the legacy music in general, not just hip hop, and so that they tune in or they go online and they can catch the DJ Newmark Experience and enjoy the music, because there is a difference between the two eras. Okay.
I gotta say, man, thank you for being a part of this platform. But before I send you off, man, I gotta say the ethos of this show is called Too Much Sauce with Slicc. I just want to know, what is your special sauce that keeps you going on those days that you don't want to wake up and say, yo, I really got to do this on social media? What is that?
Okay, to keep it 100, it's conversations like this.
Ooh, I like
it really warms my heart to know that a younger individual has the interest in hearing my story, to hear my generation's impression on hip hop in that era, because you could have easily felt that my story wasn't worthy enough, or the era that I represent was too far gone.
Nah, it's not though. It's still
so to have a young a music enthusiast, a music lover's attention, and all of your audience attention for however long we've been on, that's what keeps me getting up, because it's not about me. I represent the culture. I don't represent DJ Newmark. I represent the culture.
Okay.
And to know that we can talk about the culture, the legacy, and the modern, man, that's what keeps me getting up.
Yeah, man, we gotta keep the legacy and the modern together, guys. We gotta bridge the gap. I feel like if we do bridge the gap, I feel like everybody else will follow suit, even though you're not a music listener. But what is one piece of advice you want to leave us before we go?
Hey, man, we live in a world where everyone's sensitive, man. Everyone is scared to say certain things, man, because they don't want to get canceled or they don't want to hurt someone's feelings, which I'm all a part of. We want to enrich people's lives. We don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable or what have you. But with that being said, we got to stop being so sensitive. All right, we have to stop being so sensitive. And we have to learn how to laugh and communicate with one another without the emotion.
It's too much emotion.
We should be able to talk about anything, y'all.
Correct.
We should be able to talk about anything and say, you know what? I respect your opinion. Just respect mine.
I agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree. And maybe if you keep an open mind or I keep an open mind, I might just say something that might make you change your mind on something.
Facts. Or you might just say something that open my eyes to like something that I thought I knew, but I didn't know.
Absolutely. That's my advice to the world, man. And use music as the blueprint.
No,
because
music
is the calm of the savage beast. Okay.
It is. Music brought me through everything. So like I gotta give it to you. You like, even though I didn't know you until now, I gotta say, like, the way you laid out your blueprint, I gotta say, man, if you can break that glass ceiling, everybody can break that glass ceiling. But like, you know, I'll say, read up more about DJ Newmark. Once again, this is Slicc on Too Much Sauce. Thank you, DJ Newmark, for showing up,
Yes,
man.
sir. Thank you.
And like, I'll say, where can people follow you? Because you know you're on social media now. You're an old head, but
I mean, you
social
know,
media-wise,
probably the easiest thing to do is just Google DJ Newmark. There's another DJ Newmark out there, but he spells his name Newmark. And he don't look nothing like me. He's more handsome, right? So if you happen to pull up two DJ Newmarks, go for the ugly one, and that'll be me. All right. So DJ Newmark. I'm on all social media platforms, and I even dropped the album, believe it or not, back in January, and it's on all music download platforms as well.
Okay.
So again, thank you.
All right, and until next time, guys, this is Too Much Sauce with Slicc. See you.
Peace.
Do you know who I am? The audience.